Greetings, Planet YouTube. Kilson here, and welcome to another episode of ArcCraft. This is episode 14, and I'm standing in a pretty special new location on the server. This is our brand new Nether hub, and today we're going to be taking a look at the design and construction of this epic new build. I came up with the initial Blackstone Castle concept and rallied many of my server mates together to help complete the first floor of the palace. Scooch especially has worked really closely with me and added excellent designs of his own. Without a doubt, this is the single largest project on the server to date, and there is still an incredible amount of work to do. It's ambitious, but also a reflection of what I eventually want out of the ArcCraft server. Huge survival mega complexes. Now before we dive into the Nether Hub proper, I'd like to welcome a new server member, plus take a look at the initial Nether Hub build site and how it was before the transformation you see here. So let's take a look! So here I am at the old Arktown Community Center with Scooch and Schnurb, and we're awaiting the arrival of our newest server member, Ebsen. The center was built around the server's spawn chunks, so any new members should spawn inside here. Oh, and there he is by the bunk beds! In the floor for some reason. There he goes. Nice. Welcome, Ebsen. I'm glad my calculations were correct. He's the first new server member since I built the community center. There's some fireworks in his honor. And another fun fact, Ebsen's actually our first international server member. He's from the United States and the rest of us are all Canadian. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. And it brings more validity to our international community center with all the different country flags. Now sadly, I faced a lot of issues with the audio from Discord and just getting the right quality from everybody's microphones. So I couldn't capture our live conversation as we welcomed Ebsen to the server. But we gave him a little tour of the town and some of the features of ArcCraft, and I also suited him up with some iron gear. We didn't want to give him too much because that can take some of the fun out of it, but I did give him some fish and a totem of undying as well. I showed him around to a few of the farms on the server as well, like the Guardian farm here and also the Creeper farm and a couple others, and then we went over to the villager breeder and I showed him how to summon villagers using the minecart system. Plus, how to sort them and send them to the various destinations using the 3 buttons, to Arktown, to the utility hatch, and in this case, to their death. Oh man, that never gets old. Then we headed over to the Blacksmith trading hall, and Scooch and I explained to Ebsen how you can get infinite iron out of the iron silo from the farm up above and trade it to all of these villagers for infinite emeralds. Hoylbay and Mario also jumped online to welcome Ebsen at this point. There she is. And nice, Ebsen's getting all of his advancements right now. I got everyone acquainted, and then we provided Ebsen with a plot of land just outside New Ark City for his starter base. He's already got some storage, a mineshaft entrance, a little safety room for all of his workbenches. Looks like he's making an upstairs right now, and he's even got a nether portal. Good stuff. I look forward to seeing what he comes up with. So we've got a ton of people online today. Robbie just joined, Mario's going to be back, Dr. Satch is going to join in a bit, and today's the big day that we start construction of the new Nether Hub. Everyone's on board to help me with this, so it should be a pretty fun project. First I want to grab some dark prismarine because we're going to need this for the build. I can take it for free since I own this shop. That should be enough for now. Let's see if we made any other sales. Sick. The sea lanterns are doing well as always. 22 diamonds, beauty, and no prismarine bricks. And no prismarine either. Okay, no worries though. Let's head to the Nether roof to get started on the new hub. First things first though, we've got to tear down a few prototype projects littered around the Nether hub build site. Primarily this note block contraption that Scooch and I built a while back, which I've never actually showcased in an episode, so we're going to show it off right now. We're going to play the music and then we're going to tear the whole thing down. Scooch is firing up the drums right now, and then we'll get the other instruments loaded in one layer at a time. I took care of the melodic and harmonic loops, while Scooch laid the rhythmic foundation. Here's the arpeggiator. We can get a little bass going. All the instruments are on loops except for the arpeggiator. You have to trigger that one each time you want to hear it. I think Scooch wants me to press play on the chordal ostinato. Let's go over there. This loop right here didn't actually turn out too well, so we'll forget about that, but I will play the chimes right here. So all the instruments are in, and there you have it. This is our first foray into making music in Minecraft. I definitely want to do a lot more of this in the future. It was really cool to compose something from scratch and just experiment and explore. Schnurp came in to join the festivities too. Sadly, it's time to start turning off the loops forever. Oh, and if you're wondering why we have all these chickens, well, let's just say we had an egg fight a while back. I don't know how that red sheep got there though, that's messed up. And now we're down to the final drum and bass loop.
Never to be heard again.
And so we tore down our great music machine, which was bittersweet because on one hand we obviously needed the space for the Nether hub, but on the other hand it represented a lot of hard work and experimentation, delving into music, and we also killed all the animals too, so yeah, that was kind of fun. Sorry red sheep, sorry all you chickens that spawned in the Great Chicken War. But yeah, we managed to capture this song in episode 14 here, plus we're going to be doing a lot more musical projects in the future, so not to worry. Here's Scooch, Schnurb, and I just hanging our heads, moment of silence in honor of the great music machine that we lost. But with a clean slate and this fertile new land to build on, we can celebrate with some fireworks the beginnings of our brand new Nether hub, and ArcCraft's first official large-scale Nether hub project. We plan to build a massive blackstone palace or castle-like facility which will house the server members' portals on the Nether side. With some player bases reaching pretty far in the overworld, this is definitely going to have to be a huge facility. And since we're on the Nether roof, we're going to have to start by punching holes through the bedrock into the Nether below, which is technically not possible in vanilla Minecraft, so we're going to have to use an exploit. So over here I've marked out a perimeter for how big I want the bedrock hole to be, and I've already started the process. This is a glitch that I learned from a Minecraft YouTuber by the name of EagleEye621. I'll link his video in the description so you can see the full process in more detail, but I'm going to do my best to explain it as we go along as well. So if I flip this lever and then move over to the right side of the obsidian, I should be able to auto-click in the corner, and then the TNT will blow up, and then I can place a piston facing upwards. Underneath the piston, we should see a removed piece of bedrock. Perfect. Don't ask me how this glitch works, I have no idea, I just know that it does work. And you can set up an auto-clicker pretty easily by going into your control settings and setting the right click to any key on the keyboard. Subsequently, holding down that key will result in rapid fire and instantaneous right-clicking. So you can replicate the contraption I've built pretty easily by just using this as a visual guide. Flip the trapdoor down so you're crouched, flip the lever, and this is the danger that can occur. So you need to be hugging the obsidian. I'm going to use the trapdoor again. Thankfully I've got lots of time because there's enough people on the server that there's lag. In a normal situation I wouldn't have had time to recover, so just make sure you're hugging that obsidian. That way, even when the trapdoor is flipped up, you'll still have enough room to stay crouched. Also make sure you're holding a piston in your hand when you're auto-clicking the corner of the obsidian, otherwise this trick won't work. So with the construction of the Nether hub underway, Scooch is here working on the exterior, the other server members are going to be here shortly to help out. Let's kick off a time lapse and get this baby going. Scooch came over to check on my progress, and this is the original way that we had through the bedrock, so the new entrance is going to be significantly bigger. Then I took a break to see what Scooch was up to. He decided to take on the task of building the corners of the palace, after we built out the perimeter. It's looking pretty cool so far. And this is 20 minutes later, even cooler. He ran an interesting carpet design by me, and I was totally on board, so we're going to be lining the entire perimeter with this carpet. Meanwhile, I'm slowly chiseling my way down through the bedrock, block by block. This whole process took all morning, like 3 hours. I decided to get rid of our sloppy old entrance.
Kilson's Bedrock breaking service.
Scooch started construction of the entranceways while I started building the walls higher and higher. Next, I wanted the walls to appear ruined, so I started breaking away random blocks so I could replace them with regular blackstone and cracked blackstone. Hoyle Bay arrived and graciously took over the tedious ruination process so that I could focus on breaking more bedrock. I decided, monumental task as it was, that I would break 3 more holes in the bedrock of the exact same size. That way we could build a symmetrical 4-way palace. Needless to say, it took me all day and I had to postpone the next phase of the castle construction. Things were coming along nicely though, take a look. Schnurp dropped by and continued Scooch's exterior anvil pillar design, while Hoyle Bay worked on more castle wall ruination. Scooch and I set out to finish off the last intricately designed corner piece of the Blackstone Palace. Then we took a step back to reflect on and admire all of our hard work from the first day of construction. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but having all 4 corners and the lower walls completed felt like an accomplishment. Not to mention 4 huge entranceways blasted through the bedrock. Hoyle Bay came by to take a look. I dug a tunnel underneath each bedrock hole and connected them up in the middle. I'll probably hollow this out more later and make like a room underneath the bedrock. But for now, I want to upgrade our beacon situation. So if we go back up top, we have this nice beacon here with 2 power-ups. We're getting the speed boost and the jump boost effects. But I've officially resolved to make this Nether hub as goddamn epic as possible. So I'm going to install 16 beacons, 4 in each corner, giving us multiple power-ups for the entire palace. I want the power-ups to span the entire depth of the Nether, and the only way to accomplish that is to build the beacons underneath the lava ocean. So I've prepared a drop shaft for our first beacon site. Here goes nothing. Nice, right through the strider. Okay, so we've got our fire resistance potion in effect, and we're going to dig through the netherrack down all the way to bedrock where we're going to be building our beacons. Looks like we've hit bedrock, so we can start digging out a little cave to get away from the lava and have some safety down here, and then we can start the operation. That's a great start. Now I've already calculated the coordinates for where all the beacons are going to be placed, so I need to dig out all the netherrack that's in the way so we can create some beacon chambers. So I've just finished construction of the last compound corner beacon, and yeah, I did a little extra flex by building them all out of gold since we've got such an epic gold farm. So I'm just going to place the beacons down, and then we'll power these suckers up. And here I am applying the last power up. So we've got jump boost, speed boost, defense, strength up, and regen. Nice compound beacon effects, and we've got them in all 4 corners. So one in that corner, one down here in this corner, and we can continue down the beacon network to the 3rd corner and then back to the corner where we started. So all 4 corners are linked up now, which is amazing. And if we fly through the Nether now, we can see all 4 beacon beams popping up through the lava. So yeah, it's a really cool effect. And it was actually a really intense process trying to get through the lava, all the netherrack, and then all the bedrock at the top. I had to deal with that because sometimes netherrack will be hiding in there. It was crazy expensive too. I had to dip into my Wither Skeleton Skull savings that I've been saving up for a while, but it was totally worth it. I was saving them for a project of this scale. And you can see the beacons here above the bedrock in the early stages of the palace as well, looking pretty cool. I actually want to extend the palace down underneath the bedrock and all the way through the nether down to the lava below. Probably make like a really cool dark tower or something like that. And it's going to be a very dangerous process, so it's going to be good to have all these beacon power-ups just on hand at all times while we construct this place. And speaking of construction, the whole crew is starting to roll in. We got Dr. Satch and Hoylebay, Scooch and Mario, Ebson and Schnurb, and everyone's here to help with the next phase of construction. First, I gave everyone an outline for 8 towers that we'd be building along the outside walls of the castle. We needed 4 towers along the cardinal directions right above the holes in the bedrock, so Hoylebay got to work on this one. Mario started building up the north tower next to the creeper farm portal. Dr. Satch was working on the southern tower, which just left the eastern tower for Scooch. While everyone was building towers off the cardinal directions, I started work on the ordinal direction towers, and I wanted these ones to be a bit different, so I started making them circular instead of square, as you can see right here. Just for a little bit of variety. And if you couldn't tell, I designed these towers around the beacon beams in each corner, which by the way I also converted to black light by adding black glass down at the source. With everyone's tasks laid out, and Ebson and Schnurb soon to join us, we kicked it into high gear, and we got these towers built. After a little bit of trouble from our friends here. As you can see, it was time to start building the roof to the lower floor of the palace. Schnurb was a big part of helping me with this process. I took a break and I decided to fly around and reflect on everything that we've done in the palace so far. So we can see all the towers, we can see the roof coming in. I designed these really cool archways. I did that off camera because it was a really intricate task and it wouldn't have really worked on camera. Scooch came afterwards and added a really nice trim design to the archways using crying obsidian and dark prismarine. Very extravagant. And down in the nether underneath, I started building a temple that would lead up through the bedrock into the palace above. It was an incredible amount of fun flying around through the lower nether, up through the towers, into the red nether sky, high above the rooftop. And as we spiral back down closer to the center of the palace, we can really see how things are starting to take shape. There's definitely still a ridiculous amount of work to do. This is the largest project I've ever taken on, and we're using very expensive materials throughout the entire thing. Thankfully, we've got farms for most of these things. Alright, break time's over, back to roof construction. I left Schnurb in charge of the roofing project, and I went down to the temple underneath the bedrock to meet Ebson. As a new member, he was excited to help out and add his mark to the ArcCraft SMP server. So with Schnurb up above finishing off the roof, and Ebson and I down here working on the temple together, things were really moving along. And the last step for the temple room was to remove all of this netherrack on the ceiling up above to expose the polished blackstone tiles that I had placed earlier. Schnurb gave me a hand and it didn't take too long. So right in the center of the palace, I want to have a drop shaft elevator system. I dug out another shaft that would go all the way down through the lava right down to bedrock. Down here is where we built our beacons earlier, and I intend on extending the Nether hub all the way down to Bedrock. Now obviously we can't build water elevators in the Nether, so we're going to have to come up with another alternative. I built this holding wall to keep the lava out of the drop shaft, and then I started filling it up with gravel to remove the lava. At this point I could safely dig down to Bedrock and then connect this tunnel up with the other tunnels that connected to the beacons. So we already have a bit of a subterranean Nether hub basement taking shape. So at the center of the drop shaft we should be able to fly all the way straight up, back up to the top of the Nether hub on the roof. Beautiful. Now we'll also be adding stairs all the way up and down throughout the whole Nether hub, so maybe this drop shaft in the center will just be like a professional way up and down. It won't be for the faint of heart, but I'll place something at the bottom to catch our fall. This is just a simulation since I've got a totem of undying, and you'll need an elytra and rockets to get back to the top, otherwise you're going to have to take the stairs. Obviously I'll be decorating it and making it safe, but it's pretty sick so far. So yeah, that will be our central drop shaft, pro player only elevator system. And you can see we've been working on the interior of the palace even more. We've added a second circle of archways, and we started adding a whole bunch of really expensive trim for all of that, utilizing nether brick as well as crying obsidian, blackstone, and prismarine. Next, Scooch and I smelted up stacks on stacks of glass, and then we dyed the glass different shades of blue, purple, and cyan so that we could create a gradient effect for the central ceiling area. The idea is to make the central chamber of the Nether Palace feel a little bit taller while also giving it a unique characteristic. It took a ton of glass and time, but the results were very cool. I'm going to show everything off at the end of the episode that we've done so far. Right now I'm just kind of blitzing through all the time-lapse footage. But yeah, we had 4 layers of glass, gray, cyan, blue, and purple, and then on top we put blackstone slabs. And with the first floor of the palace very nearly complete, we celebrated with a fireworks display from Dr. Satch and Hoyle Bay. Looking good. Even though there's still a ton of work to do, the Nether Hub is officially open for business. And with that, let's take a break from this place and take a look at some other footage from the ArcCraft server since the last episode. So here I am flying up to Kern Tower and Mario's cliffside residence. This footage dates back to Christmas, but I wanted to share it because we're going to get an inside look at Kern Tower for the first time. First I'm going to throw my key in Mario's front door and gain access to his base. Alright, so we're in Mario's cliffside base and he's going to take us over to Kern Tower. Mario is pretty secretive and selective about who he lets in Kern Tower, so I feel pretty honored here. I'm gaining access on the premise that I've got a Christmas gift for him. Down the chute, alley-oop. Nice. Looks like someone's been shopping at Guardian Goodies. Speaking of which, that's exactly why I'm here. My Christmas gift for Mario is full of Guardian Goodies. Okay, now we're on an ice boat. Nice. This is a wily passageway to Kern Tower, but I'd expect nothing less from Mario. Traffic jam! Okay, I think he's getting in my boat. I'm definitely digging the sea lantern hallway. I think we're coming up on the end here. Okay, sick. Yeah, I've been to the bottom of Kern Tower before, but through a guest entrance, never Mario's private entrance. So here's the Christmas gift that I prepared for him, and as you can see, it's all the materials he's using to build this place. Prismarine bricks, dark prismarine, and sea lanterns, courtesy of Guardian Goodies. Merry Christmas, Mario. Man, this is freaking cool. I'm up at the top of the waterfall in his room here, and I'm looking at the mosaic floor, spinning around as fast as I can. Super trippy, it's like a kaleidoscope. I'm looking forward to seeing this place when it's all finished up. Mahario's definitely got a great eye for detail and patterning. Scooch and I have been playing a game trying to remember all the Harry Potter characters in the books, and we've been sending them back and forth on pieces of paper. So I've got Reggie Cattermole here. He's pretty obscure. I'm going to send him over to Scooch and see what he sends me next. Nice, looks like I got a Christmas present too. Stocking full of coal? That's some BS. I was good this year. Whatever, I'll take it. You can never have too much fuel, and a free shulker box. I ran into Hoyle Bay and Dr. Satch in the netherite mines, and I showed them how to use the TNT method to mine for netherite. Then I shared some TNT with Hoyle so she could try it herself. She definitely seemed to enjoy the process of blowing shit up.
Holy shit.
And I may have neglected to mention that it aggroes zombie pigmen when you blow them up. My bad. Oh well, we took care of them pretty quickly. We went into the Tnt Blast Chamber that Hoyle created, and she was successful at finding some ancient debris.
3-piece.
Next it was Satch's turn.
Whoa, baby.
And so I imparted my knowledge and my remaining TNT. My work here complete, I made my way home back through the netherite mines, which at this point have become quite extensive. And back in New Arc City, I met up with Robbie at RGJco Industries, his main base of operations, because it was time to get him linked up to the new Nether hub. He's been working on his tower today. It's good to see some progress. And I think he wants the portal down in the basement, so I'm going to head down there with some obsidian right now. Here we go. Nice, he's been busy down here too. I didn't realize there were so many floors going down. Alright, and it looks like he wants the portal right here, so we'll set this up for Robbie. Now I should have it linked up correctly to the Nether hub, but just to be safe, I want to go through first. I want to make sure it's safe for him. Perfect, there's Scooch, there's the Nether hub. Come on through, Robbie. He's all linked up. So Schnurp beckoned Rob and I down to his smart mine, down the shaft. Here we go again, alley-oop. Safe landing. The landing zone is a bit sketchy, I'll probably have to extend that pool. But it looks like everyone's safe, nice. We're gonna head for the smart mine control room where Schnurb left a little present for Rob in his locker. So here's Rob's locker right here, and if we look inside, we got a full set of netherite armor and tools. Schnurb's been mining netherite like crazy, and Rob's his good friend, so he wanted to help him out. Here we are, the netherite boys, all lined up. Beauty. Everyone's upgrading today. Rob's upgrading. Dr. Satch and Hoyle, they were mining netherite earlier. They're going to be upgrading soon. Good to see. Everybody's going pro. And over on another continent, Scooch has been working on something mega, across the ocean from New Arc City. You've probably seen this symbol dotted around in previous episodes, and basically it's the Super Mario World question block design, created pixel by pixel on a huge map area. You may have seen this technique on Hermitcraft or other SMP servers, but basically the way it works is that if you make a map of this area, you can put it up on a wall and use it as a poster. So we got the Super Mario question block poster, and now Scooch wants to work on another one with a white background, so I brought a couple shulker boxes full of white concrete, and I'm going to help him place all this down. We're going to get the white backdrop set up, and we can actually reuse this for several posters in the future. So this is now going to be the mapping district. We've got a black backdrop. This is going to be our white backdrop. We can create other colors if we need to, and we're going to make a huge mapping district where we just design posters and logos and symbols so that we can decorate the whole server. A few hours later, all the white concrete has been laid, and Scooch knocked it out of the park again with another poster design, the N64 logo. So sick. Now over here we've got a new contraption being built that duplicates carpets. So each module is responsible for duplicating a different color. For example, this module here produces cyan carpets, and all we have to do is flick the lever back and forth and we're producing and duplicating cyan carpets as we go along. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting device. Again, it's another glitch or exploit, just like the bedrock breaking exploit that we looked at earlier. And as we produce cyan carpet, we can go and look in the silo, and here it is appearing right here. So each module has its own private storage silo as well. So Scooch and I are going to build the rest of the modules for all of the different colors of carpets, and we'll be right back. Alright, so here we are flying over the new mapping district, and as you can see, Scooch and I have placed all of the different carpet duping modules right over here. Each color represents a different color of carpet. So if I fly into the module hallway, you can see it's looking pretty sweet at nighttime as well. All the neon lights, all the different colored stained glass, and all of the sea lanterns. I like the vibe a lot here. We still need to build a wall on each end. But otherwise, yeah, this place is working pretty nicely. So we can use any one of these levers. So for instance, if I flip the purple lever, I'm now producing purple carpets. And then I can take a look in the silo over here, and all the carpets are coming in over here. Likewise, I can go to the light gray module right here. I can flip the light gray module, and we will be producing light gray right in this box right here. So yeah, we can use this facility to produce any color of carpet we want at any time, which is pretty fantastic. And it's a glitch or an exploit, just like the bedrock breaking exploit that we looked at earlier in the episode. And I don't consider it to be too cheaty because it took a lot of work to build this facility, so it's almost just like building any other farm that you could in the game to produce large volumes of materials. So yeah, because it took a really long time to build, and the actual devices themselves don't operate that quickly, I don't consider it to be that cheaty. So over here at the north end of the facility, I started constructing a head office for the mapping district, and if we head in here, it's constructed to look like kind of like a pyramid or an Aztec temple, something like that. So we've got chiseled sandstone walls, some nice pillars with some little water moats underneath, and some lantern holders, so that's pretty sweet. And then the outside walls are lined with chest stacks. These chests are going to be used for storage, to store all of the different carpet colors from the duping facility over there. And so yeah, there's 16 different stacks, and one will represent each color, which will just be easy access for us to bring out to the maps themselves. So the black map is right there, and then the white map is down at that end. So we can remove the carpets that are currently there, and then we can... Whoa, creeper, watch out for that. Get the hell away from me. Okay, that was a narrow escape. Yeah, so we can use all the different new carpet colors that we're producing, and then we can make new maps and new posters after we get rid of the old carpets on those maps that are set up previously. And then in the center here, I made a ring of beds with some crafting tables and ender chests that are fully functional within the water moat, so that's kind of cool. So there you go. This is our pyramid head office. I'm pretty proud of it. And this is the mapping district. We're going to be doing some very cool things here in the future, so stay tuned for that. Alright, and here we are in the Dark Temple, right underneath the bedrock ceiling in the Nether Hub Palace. I finished the design and made several doorways leading out to the Nether. It kind of looks like an upside down pyramid or something. But yeah, the reason we're out here is because I want to take on a very ambitious project, and I want to destroy all of the netherrack around this temple and underneath the Nether Hub so that we can extend the hub downwards through the Nether without any obstructions in our way. Whoa, it's a long way down. That's pretty epic. So all the netherrack that we're standing on and all the netherrack above us, below us, and all around us, it's all got to go. So this is going to be a pretty intense process, and I'm going to use TNT wherever I can, but we got to start by removing this netherwort farm manually. Sorry, Schnurb, he built this a while back. So we'll get rid of all the netherwort, all the soul sand, all the nether brick blocks and lanterns, and all of the smooth stone. I'll pack this stuff up and recycle the materials for another project later on. I'm also going to have to remove several layers of netherrack all around me manually, because if I use TNT, I'll risk blowing up the temple above us. When I get to a safe distance though, it's blasting time, baby. Alright, so I'm just going to work on this, digging away, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Phew, and a couple hours later, this is what we got. So as you can see, there's quite a bit of space between the layer of netherrack we're standing on and the temple above, so it should be safe to start laying some TNT without damaging the temple. Booyah! Looks like we're in the clear, and that was very effective. Let's keep going. This is going to be epic. Aw man, so freaking satisfying. And it was only a matter of time before I aggroed the pigmen. Let's give them a taste of TNT too. Bullseye, that was beautiful. Well, I think it's safe to say this is a lot faster than digging manually, and a hell of a lot more fun too. But it still does cost quite a bit of resources to make this much TNT, so I think I want to try my hand at building some TNT duping machines. Here's my first prototype just to test the theory out. I followed Farzy's tutorial on YouTube, I'll link that in the description. Alright, it looks like this is going to work nicely, so now we need to build several duping modules. And half an hour later, I've now constructed 12 TNT duping modules, and I've linked them up so that we can control them all with one lever. Nice, it's pretty amazing just watching sheets of TNT fall down one after the next. But it looks like I'm missing some in the middle here. What happened here? Oh, I missed some redstone, dummy, and I don't have any in my inventory. Okay, no worries, let me fix this up and I'll be right back. And that should do it. Alright, let's try this again. There we go, that's what I want to see. Fuck yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's raining TNT. But you know what, I think we can go even bigger than this. It's time to build a mega TNT duper. Here we go, shit's about to get real. Scooch is over there in the demolition bunker that I just built for the destruction site, and I've got a button that's going to operate the entire thing. So if we look off the viewing platform, we can see a huge ceiling covered in TNT dupers, and these are all going to be triggered by the nuclear launch control panel I just showed off. I'll fly around a bit and we can take a look at the mountain that we're going to be destroying. I placed a bunch of buttons around so that I could improve the spawn rates for a wither skeleton farm that I'm slowly putting together. But who the hell needs buttons when there's no netherrack to spawn on anymore? And trust me, when I'm through with this place, there will not be any more netherrack. So here's another look at the landmass that we're about to blow up. It's a pretty sizable chunk of netherrack, but I think we're up for the challenge. We got a lot of dupers up here, as you can see. And actually, I'll fly up to the control area and we can get a look at what's going on back here. So I've got a huge line of redstone going down this long staircase, which runs all the way to the control panel for the nuclear launch that I was showing off earlier. And once we set the mechanism off, it's going to trigger this clock, which will continuously fire round after round of TNT. So then we won't have to keep flipping a lever. We can just press the button one time and watch things go kaboom! So I've wired all of these module lines up, and the last thing that we need to do is just add a piece of redstone to each one. I didn't want Schnurb or Mario triggering things prematurely, so I needed that failsafe in place. Alright, so it looks like everyone's arriving for the big show, so I can put the last of the circuitry in place, and then we can get ready for the big launch. Oh man, I'm nervous. I really hope everything works properly. Let's start the countdown in chat. 3, 2, 1.
Nuclear launch detected.
Here we fucking go. What the hell? Out of the way, Schnurb. How beautiful is that? Absolute destruction. Let me see if I can fly through this without dying. Wow, that definitely left a ton of lava pockets behind, which are now all exposed. It's gonna be a big job, but I gotta tidy this all up. So I removed all that lava, which exposed some more netherrack that hadn't been blown up yet. So I fired the machine one more time to get rid of the excess netherrack. And who am I kidding? I wanted to see TNT get launched one more time before I dismantled this machine. Now several days later, I've slowly been chipping away at the netherrack with TNT and also manually in places. And this is the result, a huge empty lava cavern right next to this fortress, which is really cool. This is where our wither skeleton farm is going to be. And we'll connect it up to what's eventually going to be the tower leading down from the nether hub all the way to the lava. We'll have like a moat down in the lava below. It's going to be pretty sick. And I also installed a crazy amount of glass in the ceiling. This is all purple glass. I dug away all of the netherrack that was mixed in with the bedrock in the center of this chamber, and I'm going to do the same thing on the outside edges as well. I really like the effect of the glass mixed with the bedrock, and I think it's going to look amazing once I get rid of all this netherrack. I am going to take it one step further as well. I want to keep using TNT to blast more netherrack away, but I'm going to use flying machine TNT dupers, which will be able to cover way more ground than my previous machines, and it'll be cheaper and less time consuming to build. By the time I'm through with this place, all this extra netherrack is going to be gone, and we're just going to be left with one gigantic chamber that will be perfect for extending the nether hub down into the nether. But for today, we're going to wrap up the netherrack destruction derby, and I'll share my progress on this in a future episode. I definitely want to push the limits for what's possible in survival Minecraft, and I figured this would just be a great way to experiment with TNT dupers and large-scale blasting projects, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the results so far. Well guys, we're almost out of time for today's episode, sadly. It's been a wild one, conceptualizing the Nether Hub Palace, gathering and farming huge amounts of resources, beginning construction, and destroying bedrock and netherrack for days. There's still so much to be done in this facility, but I'm really proud of all the work we've put in so far. Thanks again to Scooch for his amazing entranceway, corner piece, and wall designs, as well as the really cool exterior carpets. Thanks to Hoyle, Schnurb, Satch, Rob, Mahario, and Ebson for pitching in on construction. And special thanks to Schnurb for gathering additional resources for us, like Blackstone and TNT. Before I leave you, I'd like to do a quick tour of the whole Nether Hub thus far, so you can see how all the parts fit together. So we've been spending a lot of time at this upside down pyramid temple in the Nether proper, and all the netherrack that I've removed, so you've seen all this already, but I'll just do one more final sweep around so you can take a look at the progress so far. But yeah, so if we pop up here, this is one of the entrances to the stairwell and one of the towers that leads up to the palace. So if I take this staircase, this goes up into the palace above the bedrock. This is the hole in the bedrock right here, and this staircase goes all the way down to the temple area down in the Nether, so that's pretty cool. It was really important to design these staircases so that they were big enough that you could fly through them if you wanted to. I just wanted to be able to fly through the palace everywhere because it's such a huge palace. So with that design idea in mind, we can just get around everywhere a lot more quickly and a lot more stylishly. This is the top of the palace so far. It's pretty bland up here. We're going to be adding a second floor and adding a whole bunch of details, so stay tuned for that. Here's one of Scooch's really cool entranceways and all of the carpet designs that he added around the exterior. We had a lot of fun designing an extravagant exterior wall complete with anvils, crying obsidian, and lanterns. Schnurber's going to add more of those torch braziers all along the exterior, and here's a closer look at Scooch's carpet design. It's just a really trippy kind of randomized pattern that he came up with, and I think it really fits the color scheme and adds a lot of variety and depth to the exterior of the build, so I'm pretty happy with that. Over this way we've got easy access to the gold farm. It's all linked up with a nice little ice highway and a soul sand highway, so yeah, everything's pretty convenient to get to. And if we approach one of the entranceways, we can see that there's also some really nice new banners that Scooch designed that match the color scheme of the palace, so pretty stoked about that. And I started laying in carpets. That storage is just temporary. We'll be removing it. So let's take a fly around inside here, and you can see the carpet pattern that I came up with. It's actually inspired by the design on the side of a bowl that I eat my cereal out of every day. And we're staying consistent with the color scheme all the way around and in the next ring of the palace as well. The carpet design is a little bit different here, but the same colors, and I love how the trim reflects our color choices as well. The trim is really intricate and took a lot of time. You can see the layered glass and the mirror ceiling above us, creating an illusion and a sense of depth that doesn't actually exist because there's a ceiling of blackstone above that, but it looks like the ceiling just goes off into space. It's pretty sweet. Get out of here. And in this central chamber of the palace, I spent a ridiculous amount of time, there's my portal there, linking up everyone's portals and spacing them out so that it looked neat and cool in here. I still need to create some ruined archways for these central portals, and I want to come up with a really interesting floor design in here as well. And of course, this is where the central dropshaft elevator will be eventually. For now, it's pretty sketchy and it's not connected up properly yet, but it takes us down to the temple at least. Alright, well that's a wrap for today. Thanks for tuning in as always, and make sure you're subscribed so you can stay up to date on all the latest developments and misadventures from the ArcCraft SMP server. In the next episode, we'll be returning to AFK Isles to work on some new industrial projects, and we'll continue to develop our Nether hub. Please look forward to that in the near future, and don't forget to drop a like to help support my work. I put a ton of time into this, and your support encourages me to keep making great content for you guys. See you in episode 15. Kilson out. Peace.